In this video, we'll show you how to assemble your controller. To do this, you'll need your joystick, OLED screen, 2 arcade buttons, wires, an on or off switch, and your 3D printed controller shell. Make sure that all of your wires are female wires so that they can connect to the male wires from the PCB. Pause the video to see which colored wires go to which pins on the controller. If necessary, you can add more wire to make sure the connector can exit the controller and reach the wires coming from the mounting assembly. Solder wires to the X-axis and Y-axis pins on the controller according to the previously provided pinout. Pause the video to see the proper color connections since they're different from before. Solder wires to the Z-axis wires according to the previously provided pinout. Be sure to add heat shrink to the wires before you solder them together and heat the heat shrink around the exposed connections to secure them after soldering. The last step is to solder wires to the remaining yellow wires on the controller for the button. The connections do not matter. You can solder either yellow wire to either wire on the 2-wire connector, and be sure to add heat shrink just like before. Now we'll prepare our E-stop and mode buttons. We'll start with the E-stop. On this button, all 4 pins will be used. On the bottom of the button there are 2 arrows with a plus and a minus that point towards 2 of the pins. These pins are specifically for lighting up the button. Make sure that you solder a red wire to the plus pin and a black wire to the minus pin. For the remaining 2 pins, the pairs do not matter. Now we'll do the mode button. Since this button doesn't light up, you can ignore the plus and minus labeled pins and only solder wires to the other 2 pins. The pairs do not matter, either wire can go to either pin. Now we'll do the OLED screen. For the screen, you'll need both 2-wire and 3-wire connectors. Be sure to carefully follow the wiring list and diagram to make sure you solder the right wires to the correct pins. Remember to also label the wire groups according to the wiring list to make connecting everything later much easier. Now that we've soldered wires to all of our components, we can now assemble the controller. We'll start by inserting the on or off switch into the hole on the controller labeled power. Be sure to thread the wires out the back hole of the controller and fully snap the on or off switch in place. Now we'll install the buttons. For the buttons, insert the wires into the button holes on the controller. Thread the wires through the retaining nut for the buttons before threading them through the hole out the back on the controller. Firmly screw the nut onto the button and lock it in place on the controller. Now we'll install the screen onto the controller by first threading the wires through the back hole on the controller and then screwing 4 screws into the corner holes of the screen into the controller. Next, we'll attach the joystick to the acrylic. Start by inserting the joystick knob through the acrylic so that the box of the joystick sits flush with the bottom of the acrylic and the rubber part is on top of the acrylic. Make sure that the joystick is oriented so that the leads with wires attached face away from you when looking at the front of the acrylic. Slip the plastic ring over the joystick knob and screw it into place with the 4 Phillips screws to secure the joystick to the acrylic. Thread the joystick wires through the hole on the back of the controller. Then sit the acrylic on the controller and align it so that the threaded inserts in the controller align with the holes on the acrylic. You can now screw the acrylic to the controller. This concludes the assembly tutorial for the controller. Thanks for watching.